Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 2 in the series between Happy and Believe. Well, if you guys have not watched game number 1, definitely do so now. I will be referencing it, so that is your spoiler alert. Happy taking a 1-0 lead in this series so far. As we saw some interesting play, both sides opting to open up with liches. Liches really showing how fast those ghouls can melt after a quick frost nova and, well, focus fire from the other ghouls. Both sides did do a little bit of early losing, but Happy able to deal a devastating blow by taking out an acolyte while it was trying to summon a building. In doing so, Believe ended up mining from a haunted gold mine with only 4 acolytes while the Black Citadel was upgrading, putting him behind in resources. By the time the next fight came, the Death Knight was caught in open field and ended up dying, perhaps a little bit loss of control there, not microwing the Death Knight to head back home. We are now moving on into game number 2. Altar of Darkness about to start showing what the level the hero is going to be, and it is a fact going to Believe a Lich from Believe, coming out from Happy, a Lich as well. Lich versus Lich game again, as the Tomb of Relics is coming down, and we pretty much know how these early battles are going to be. I believe the Lich is going to try and clear out some early creep camps off to the north here, perhaps pick up some strong items, and then move out. Maintenance and monitoring of the mana on the Lich is going to be absolutely important, as whoever has more mana and is able to force your opponent to run first is generally the victor. The slow from that Frost Nova can really tip things in one way or the other, since the ghouls cannot run away all that quickly. Let's take a look at what's happening back down across over here. Liches are going to be making their way out here in just a moment. 2-minute 15-second mark, as the ghouls are now heading off to the north. Back down across over here, ghouls are already going after these apprentice wizards, as the Lich just now arrives to the party. That's going to be a little bit of extra damage there. This final apprentice wizard will get taken out, and we are going to be picking up a Slippers of Agility. Meanwhile, the Lich off to the north, Happy, also getting Slippers of Agility, as we see a quick Frost Nova onto that Renegade Wizard. Renegade Wizard just getting melted oh so fast. There it goes. Gloves of Haste now going to be dropped. The Lich will be able to sling that fire or frostbolt slightly faster and deal more damage. Lich already sitting at level 2 for Happy. Meanwhile, Believe also at level 2 as well, having a Circlet of Nobility. A Circlet of Nobility for compared to Gloves of Haste. Not quite sure who quite has the advantage there. And so far, the Lich, once we see the Orb of Corruption, we may actually see better usage from the Lich's Gloves of Haste, as it is that -5 armor debuff, as long as the Lich is switching targets. Now, Sasquatch also going to get focused down here. This low hit point ghoul going to be heading back home. Meanwhile, Lich back down to the south here, also finishing off all of these relatively easy creep camps, as we now see that Lich going after the Sasquatch once more. Lich taking a little bit of damage. Going to get taken out. Wand of Lightning Shield on Happy's Lich now, as that Lightning Shield can in fact do a fair bit of damage. One Acolyte from Happy actually monitoring the bridge off to the north. Meanwhile, the Lich still wandering around, may decide to place down a sentry ward here to monitor any action that is coming from the north side. Alright, Kobold's going to get taken out here, finished off, as we see a level 3 Lich going up against currently a level 2, almost level 3 Lich again. We are finally getting that graveyard into play. We are 4 minutes and 20 seconds into this battle, as the Lich turns back around, gets to level 3, and we may see that Lich try and go for an easy Frost Nova on an Acolyte of Happy. Little does he know that the Happy already has one Nerubian Tower to defend, and if that Lich ventures a little bit too far, we may actually see a little bit of a uphill battle. Alright, Believe now trying to slip away, will be able to do exactly that. Lich now running back on Blight, and those skeletal minions could end up getting taken down right there. There's a Dark Ritual trying to make sure that Believe is able to get more Frost Novas. Instead, Believe now in a bit of trouble, needs to get away. Are we going to perhaps see another Frost Nova come in? And yes, there you go, and Believe being forced to use a Scroll of Town portal right there, as Happy now comes out slightly ahead in the next battle. Lich is in position. Death Knight needs to be trained up here in just a moment, but the Halls of the Dead is not even done yet. Lich heading back off to the north. Staff of Teleportation for that Lich as he teleports all across the map. Is the skeletal minion gonna perhaps find where this Lich is and get a teleported Lich on top of him just in time to land a Frost Nova? This is potentially very, very dangerous. Lich still has some mana left as we now see skeletal minions. There you go. There's another dark ritual right there as the Lich now makes his way off to the north. Or excuse me, off to the east. Lich gonna be testing the waters here. Black Citadel just now upgraded. Frost Nova could be coming in on to Believe, and there goes one Acolyte. More Acolytes are gonna be forced to be trained. More skeletal minions are making their way over as well, as a second one could get it taken down. Now, you saw that the Halls of the Dead did not immediately start training up an Acolyte. That is because, well, not quite sure why, as another Acolyte does get taken down. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Happy trying to escape. Is he going to be forced to, well, use the Scroll of Town portal? Yes, he will. He was down to 33 hit points, but he will be teleporting back home as well. Death Knight, ready to go. Happy does definitely need a Death Coil to stay in a bit of good health. Meanwhile, Believe getting his Halls of the Dead delayed once more. 2 Acolytes were down. Maybe even more, as I believe an Acolyte was trained and it is still down 1. So Believe is going to be significantly behind in gold for at least a little while longer. Let's take a look. 85-30 compared to 88-10. That is about 30 seconds of gold mining difference between these two teams. Believe now going after this 3-1-1 creep camp. Slow, quickly cast across by that Kobold Geomancer. Down it goes. Meanwhile, we should be looking at a Death Knight being trained up here, and it is just now getting started. Happy already has his Death Knight in play, and he should be able to get to level 2 off of this Death Knight here in just a moment. Believe does know exactly what Happy is up to, but is he really going to be able to stop it? That is the question, as another skeletal minion gets taken down. Death Knight looking to finish off the rest of these Brigands and Enforcers. Those are going to get taken down very easily. Meanwhile, the Lich off to the north, almost at level 4, with the Wand of Mana Stealing, could get in a number of very, very powerful Frost Novas. But Vampiric Aura coming in from the Death Knight. Where's that Frost Nova coming in? Do we have a Frost Nova? Yes, there we go. There is now level 4 here, as we are going to be looking at Believe, going to be very strong if he can engage or run away. Lich comes in, gets an engagement. There is another Frost Nova there as Believe is trying to run back. Another Ghoul coming in from Believe, or Skeletal Minion, as that is taken down. We are going to be looking at a small engagement back and forth, as Lich does have level 4 on his Lich, currently compared to level 3. Death Knight, we are going to be seeing an engagement again. There was another Frost Nova, Wand of Mana Stealing coming across. Death Coil heals up that Lich. Is it going to be enough, as we see now in some engaging happening down over here? Alright, is it going to be enough? Are we going to see another Death Coil there, as the units are still running around every which way? Happy now going to turn around. No Frost Nova there. Lich is currently low on mana, but does have the Wand of Mana Stealing. If that charge is available, he could steal the mana from an opposing unit, deny the mana, and then get another Frost Nova there. Oh, Happy's Lich down to 97, 67 hit points. Death Knight very, very low on mana, but it looks like he will be able to get enough in just a moment. Is the Lich going to be able to turn around and steal that last bit? No, there is another Frost Nova coming back down from the north. Believe trying to get away. Body block by Believe's Death Knight, as we see a Wand of Mana stealing mana away from that Lich momentarily. Death Knight could turn around, perhaps launch a Death Coil, as we see another Frost Nova, this time onto the Death Knight. Death Knight, however, looks like as he will be able to get away, higher hit point cap, as we now see the Lich down to 200 hit points, now trying to regenerate some hit points back on Blight. Lich of Happy going after this North Creep camp here. Kobold Geomancer going to get taken down. Happy already has the Destroyers, absorbed a bit of mana, it appears, and now going after these last Kobold Geomancers once again. ghouls coming across into the center. That is a lot of very low hit point units that are going to be very vulnerable to that Frost Nova, as that Lich is sitting at level 3. Destroyers are also out as well, and the Destroyers do have a little bit of mana, as we now see an engagement happening here. Alright, Lightning Shield now being cast across. Destroyers getting into position. Are they going to be able to deal damage? It looks as though one Destroyer already taken down. More units now trying to run away. Dark Ranger shows up first. Death Knight and Lich not too far behind, as it looks like more and more units are going to go ahead and fall over. Believe denying a Forestral Shadow Priest. But is he going to deny the Death Knight? No, he is not. Falls at the hands of his opponent. And once again, Believe is without his Death Knight to support the Lich. And this may be the beginning of the end. As, what was that? Manual of Health now being added here. Alright, Renegade Wizard looking to fall over here in just a moment, taking an additional 22% damage per attack. There it goes. It does get taken down. Lich is back here. It looks like we were perhaps trying to resurrect the Dark Ranger, or hire the Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger is now out on the field, but is it going to be too little too late? 41 over 50 supply compared to 41 over 50. Death Knight now getting resurrected. This is a 3-2-1 army composition from Happy compared to a 3-1, or is it a 4-1-1? 4-1-1. An army from Believe. Plenty of information there for you. As the Tome of Strength now getting picked up. Alright, let's take a look. Frost Nova onto the Lich. Are we going to see the quick death of a Lich, as the Lich is now trying to get away? Orb of Mana, I believe I saw on... Well, who did I see it on? The Lich of Happy. Happy now going to get even more mana once again, as we now see an engagement now go down. Obsidian Statue losing a lot, or taking a lot of damage there. We are now going to be engaging back off to the north, as we see the Lich looking to turn back around, go after the Kobold Taskmaster, who is taking a lot of magic damage right now and does get felled. Death Knight looking to pick up a potion of invulnerability. Dark Ranger right there. Lich is just trying to harass with as many Frost Novas as possible, but really not dealing all that much damage. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Death Knight trying to get to level 2. Lich and the Dark Ranger just poking every which way, as the Death Knight going to get to level 2 here and pick up a Circlet of Nobility. Let's take a look at the army size. 49 over 60 compared to 47 over 50. Dark Ranger running past a whole bunch of units. Frost Nova catching Believe asleep. Got within range to unload everything, and Believe loses the Lich once more. Believe not paying attention, losing the Lich. And with the loss of a level 4 hero that late in the game, Believe gives the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game number 2 in this series between Happy and Believe.